Pledge of Allegiance, moment of silence. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence. Alrighty, we will get to work. First one we have, department heads, presentation of award for outstanding service, community corrections. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Yeah, just wanted to, one of my favorite things is recognizing a member of my team. Today I want to recognize an outstanding employee that's worked for Community Corrections for many years, Alyssa Daniels. Alyssa, would you mind coming forward? Thank you. Yeah. Alyssa's worked for the department for many years. Everything that goes through our department goes through Alyssa. She makes us look good. And I was thinking the other day, she represents us very, very well. The work that we do could not be done without the work that she does. And we're so grateful to her. Every employee of the department has talked to me and mentioned how her hard work and dedication. She's there every single morning, opening the office, getting things going. Anything any of us write or leaves the office represents us, she touches. So grateful to her. And I want to thank the board for allowing us to recognize Alyssa Daniels. And we have a presentation here for Alyssa. If I can get it open.
Better let her do it.
We have faith in you. She makes you look good.
She does make me look good. She would do this for me usually. All right. Let's see here. All right.
Ooh, shiny.
Look at this. Thank you. Yeah. It says above and beyond. I presented to Alyssa Daniels for her setting a high standard for us and doing a great job at Community Corrections. And so this is from Coos County and the Community Corrections Department.
Thank you, Mike.
So thank you. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Alyssa, why don't you come on up here and get a photo with that and Mike?
That out and hold it then.
We understand you have a hard job making Mike look good.
That's a full-time effort.
Well, you're supposed to be up here too.
Yeah, somebody want to take that? Thanks, Tim, I
Yep.
appreciate that.
You don't get a run off on us just yet, short timer.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect.
Right on.
All right.
Thanks, Dr. Lynch. Alrighty, next we have request approval of Amendment 9 to IGA 185806 with Oregon Health Authority. Authorize Dr. Lynch to sign.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Lynch.
So this item kind of happened quickly for us. This was a rural health transformation grant offered by the Oregon Health Authority. They're creating a new program element 82. This will be for $297,052. This is supposed to bolster up our rural communities in public health and give an opportunity for us to strengthen our workforce within our community. We have outlined a plan that we will go over in the next couple items after this for workers to come in and bolster up our community service. This is a short-term program element. It is only guaranteed for 4 years. After that, they are not sure if the funding will be there.
All right, I move that we approve Amendment 9 to IGA number 185806 with Oregon Health Authority and authorize Coos Health and Wellness's interim director, Dr. Tim Lynch, to sign.
Second?
Motion and a second, discussion.
I would note that including this, it brings the total grant award to $1,900,000+. Very impressive.
It will, yes. This is a great opportunity. As I said, it moved very quickly through the Oregon Health Authority, and the team at Coos Health and Wellness spent a rapid 2 weeks building a program that would be sustainable if this funding was no longer made available to be able to serve our community.
Okay. Discussion from the public? All righty. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next one, you don't get to escape yet. Request approval job description for public health medical care assistant, post and fill.
This is part of the rural health transformation plan that we've put together. We've identified 2 positions that previously were not able to be filled due to the training and the time that it would take to start billing and seeing the finances come back to support that individual. So we've identified this community health worker as well as a WIC employee that will be on the next one to both bolster up our services. We know for a fact that we have the community need in both of those. We just have not been able to fill those positions, knowing that there would be a gap in the financials.
I move the board approve the job description, posting, and filling of the public health medical care assistant position.
Second?
Motion and a second, discussion.
Tell me, when the funding runs out, I assume that the county would be responsible for some helping cover unemployment insurance? Or this is something that personnel or finance might help me with more?
The objective of this is to get the individuals in place, be able to train them, and then that window of time before we're billing and getting reimbursed where they're sustaining their jobs will be able to be covered. So this is something that we've looked at over the last couple of years and wanted to do. OHA did note it in its triennial review that those areas of WIC and home visiting, their staff are doing far more services than most other counties. And they wanted us to look into how we could bolster that up. And in conversations, we just couldn't pencil that for the debt that we were going to take for the first year on that employee training, getting them up, getting them cases. This is going to fill that gap in a short term. So we're able to sustain them going forward forever, where they will not be laid off, and we will have the services available to the community.
But you mentioned that the funding was just for 4 years.
Correct.
How does, when that funding runs out? And I'm not against this idea, I just want to make sure that we're taking appropriate measures to protect.
So we'll be able to bill for those services. We'll be able to bill our CCO, Advanced Health, for those services rendered. But in order to get these 2 positions up to speed, trained, and then get them a full workload, takes some time. They have criteria to go through OHA. So to answer your question quickly, on the other side, we'll be able to bill for their services to our CCO, and we won't have to depend on this grant to keep them.
Oh,
So in
okay.
effect, they're revenue generating position.
Okay, they'll
It
generate.
just takes a little time
I
to
gotcha.
ramp the revenue.
Okay,
Needed
now I
seed money.
understand. Thank you.
Cool. Public? Yeah. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. One more here. Request approval to create WIC public health aid position.
And this is part of that rural transformation. That's the other position that we have identified that we'll be able to bolster up, and it will be a revenue generator over some time.
I move we approve the posting and filling of the WIC Public Health Aid 1 position.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. As a curiosity, I'm forgetting the full acronym, CCBH, for the mental health side when we get that special certification
Yep.
that lets us bill more money.
CCBHC,
Yep. Will that help us offset to do more support into this field where our department is doing more than the rest of the state?
And specifically in WIC, or just in the whole Coos Health and Wellness?
Mostly looking, can the mental health side help public health do more?
There is a lot more crossover. When it comes to this medical assistant position, this will be a forerunner for some of the other healthcare assistants that we're going to need to do physical health. So it's going to be able to bolster up, yes.
Excellent. I interrupted you, Rod. Did you have something?
No, I didn't think I was interrupted at all.
Okay. Public? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
And I do have a late.
Uh-oh, what do we have?
Oh, yeah.
6A. 6A, there we are. Request approval of revised job description, retitling of position, resolution to reclassify Dawn Broughton.
This is part of our restructuring with Dr. Gleason leaving and us not filling that deputy position. We are now distributing some of those responsibilities across the organization, and Dawn has taken on quite a bit of that. So this will be one of a few reclassifications for some distribution of those responsibilities.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve said
Mr. Chair,
reclassification?
move to approve the Coos Health and Wellness job description for Finance and Administrative Services Manager position under pay grade 820, effective June 1st, 2026. Approve and sign payroll resolution 2605070P.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
Always good to trim to efficiencies.
Appreciate the flexibility. Public comment. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Dr.
Thank you,
Lynch.
Tim.
Next one, request approval for insurance. Certificate. I was looking and the verbiage got me. A certificate of insurance for Queen's Court at the fair. Oh, issuance.
Issuance. Yes, Jason Wilson, I'm the horse superintendent and chaperone for the Coos County Fair and Rodeo, chaperone for the Queen's Court. So the girls have been asked to participate in the Rose Festival Parade, and one of the requirements of the parade is that they have to have this issuance of certificate of insurance.
Mr. Chair, move to approve the issuance of a certificate of insurance by the county for the Coos County Fair and Rodeo Queen and Princess to represent Coos County at the Rose Parade on June 6, 2026.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
Great to see those young ladies going to the big stage on behalf of our little county.
That will be an experience for them, if they've not been. Public comment? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
So they should be on TV, I would say a little after 7 o'clock. So they combine the normal Rose Festival Parade with the Starlight Parade this year. That parade usually going to start around 6:30 or so. And I don't know exactly when the girls are going to be on camera. But if you're watching it, I would probably say between 7 to 7, a little after 7, you'd see them. And they'll be announced and they'll go in front of the camera. And I'm not quite sure which affiliate will be covering the festival. But yeah, they'll be on TV. So if you want to watch them, we encourage you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Mr.
Jason.
Chair, is it okay while we have Jason here, if he could give a little update on all that's going on at the fairgrounds? You seem to be doing a lot down
so.
there.
there's a lot going on. We're starting June with the completion of all of the projects that we've been doing. We acquired some fill dirt from ODOT. Yesterday was the last day that they brought that to us. We thought we were going to get a lot more, but we're going to work with what we get, and that is going to go up on the hillside in the amphitheater to try to do more of that approach for viewing area. Two other projects that I'm working on is we are going to buy some new pins and basically create a new show ring for the swine department. And that is something that was funded through a grant through Three Rivers Indian Foundation and some other private donors. The other thing that we're working on is a beef wash station, and we're hopefully have it done here in the next week or so. And that was those funds were provided by different donors. I think we're up to 5 or 6 now. And just a lot of weed eating and mowing and rototillering and just kind of getting everything back up to snuff. I think we'll bring on some temporary workers 1st of July to usually some kids and a couple others to pressure wash and to do setup. But I think that's
Pavilion?
the pavilion. Yes, the pavilion. If you have a chance to go down there, it's awesome. We added some more gravel around the skirts of it the other day to try to to even it all out. And yeah, it is pretty magnificent. I guess that would be a good description of that building. And that was a culmination of a lot of hard work from a lot of people making it happen in order to use the funds that were available and then also seek additional funds to finish the project. So we're very excited about it, and we're hoping to see everybody there this year. So
I want to point out to the public that Jason and Gary Haga and a handful of other volunteers are very nearly making the fair grounds their full-time effort, and they've accomplished a huge amount. Our fairgrounds have grown in size. They've acquired from land donation a significant new parcel that we'd always used before, but we were borrowing it. And then they found some more land for us to borrow during fair for parking, and the fairgrounds have never looked so good, and they're still working and improving things. And so just thank you and your crew for
You're welcome.
and Rod is down there helping out, and he's been an extra hand there, it looks like to me.
And we can always use more. And if anybody wants to come down and give us a hand on anything, we can always use help. And like I said, we had a lot of weeds to pull, a lot of planters to use. One thing to note, we had 2 lovely ladies that have volunteered the last couple of years to do all of our planters and weed pulling and planting in the flower pots. They're not going to be able to do that this year. So there's a big void that we're looking to fill in order to spruce up all of our little planter boxes. And John, I don't know how many of those boxes we have. I think we have about a dozen of those.
A few.
That have looked awesome in years past. So
I think if you could get the weeds out of there, it might be more, I'd hate to ask anyone to tackle it the way it is.
Yeah,
That would be a big help.
There may be a bunch of the plants that have held over from.
Well, I
years
think they
before.
are,
So,
yeah.
it seems it's anywhere you scratch the surface down there, these wild onions
grow.
pop up, and everything is just needs to be cleaned up and spruced up. But I keep reminding everybody we're ahead of schedule where we've been in years past with our projects and everything. So. Everybody's got a lot of enthusiasm. We're very excited. And ask me that question again, second week of July.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Next one we have, request approval of resolution to transfer funds from in forestry department. Morning, Lance.
Morning, sir.
Morning, Lance.
Good morning, John. Lance Morgan, Coos County Forester. Forestry Department has the opportunity to purchase 415 acres of timberland that borrows Coos County Forest using funds within our current budget. These funds need to be transferred to capital outlay for the purchase.
Mr. Chair, move to approve and sign Resolution 2605063B.
Second.
Appropriating fund.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
It's a great find and a great investment.
I agree.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work on it.
Yeah, it's been about a 3-year project getting them
It
to
has.
sell that.
Yep.
And that explained, well, you're going to be talking about it here in a minute anyway. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yep.
Let you talk about what you're buying here.
Late agenda
pretty
item.
soon.
Public. That's it. Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Next one. Yeah.
He has a late.
Yep, late item. Timber purchase from Fairview Timber.
Forest Department has been offered the opportunity to purchase timberland from Fairview Timber LLC prior to listing on the open market. Attaches the purchase agreement for tax account number 697400, 697300, and 697600 for an agreed purchase price of $1,600,000.
Mr. Chair, move to approve at long last the purchase of this timber land from Fairview Timber and authorize County Forester Lance Morgan to sign the purchase agreement.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Just to note that as we continue to look for additional revenue sources, timber remains the only consistent one. So that's why we continue to purchase timberland. So, any public comment? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you,
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Lance.
Lance.
Next one, request approval of task order number 1 with AKS Engineering. Morning, Paul.
Good morning.
Hello, Paul.
I'm to the point where I need these sometimes,
Yeah, I'm realizing that more and more. I have to remember to pick some up.
unfortunately.
The 40s.
So task order 1 is for the, these are both FEMA sites, the 2 agenda items we have today. This is for the 2 Mile Lane milepost 2.72 site. We have an on-call contract with AKS. These are the first 2 task orders of probably many more to come here over the next few months, most of which are FEMA support sites that we'll be getting funding from FEMA for. So this first one, 2 Mile Lane, we're just asking for approval and sign the task order number 1 for the service contract with AKS Engineering and Forestry for professional engineering services at milepost 2.72 of 2 Mile Lane, not to exceed $88,610.
I move we approve and assign task order number 1, contract amendment to A/E service contract with AKS Engineering and Forestry for professional engineering services at milepost 2.72 of 2 Mile Lane in an amount not to exceed $88,610.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
AE is assessment engineering.
Architecture and engineering.
Architecture engineering, thank you. And the 88,610 is just for the AE services on
Yeah,
this
if you look at
project?
the very last page of their task order document, it breaks it out by task. And we believe tasks 3 and 4, we
I
can
had that.
get those skinnied up. Do you not have it?
Not in my,
Oh, okay, sorry. I can go over it real quick. So there's 4 tasks. Both of these agenda items are kind of the same thing. So task 1 is project initiation, data collection, and project management, and in this case, $6,800 for that. Task 2, and something that's critical to this particular site, is the geotechnical investigation. That's $25,355.
I'm sorry, the what investigation?
Geotechnical?
Oh,
I think we only have a motion for number 1 on the table right now.
well.
Yeah. So I'm just reading through number 1, but I'm just saying
Yep.
ahead of time, so when we get to the next one,
Okay.
the format's all the same. Task 3 is the engineering design. They're going to be providing us with 30%, 90%, and 100% plan specifications and a cost estimate. That's $37,605. And then task 4 is the bid support and construction phase services, and that's $18,850. And I believe on task 3 and 4, we'll be able to save some time there on both of those tasks with them, so we should be able to see this come in under that amount.
Paul, could you slide I hear people are looking like people not
Okay,
able to
sorry.
hear you. They're
Sorry about
leaning
that.
forward quite a bit. And my understanding is these are all projects that are funded by FEMA.
Yeah, so we should get reimbursed 75% of all of our costs
Very
for
good.
both the engineering, any permitting, planning, as well as the actual construction itself.
How is FEMA doing on timeliness? I remember they were quite a ways behind recently.
Well, they were not working for a period of time.
How they do
with the
it?
shutdown, and they just got back to work here 2 weeks ago, I think.
Okay.
We met with them for the first time in
Oh,
quite
wow.
some time.
Okay.
And so these projects, these are the next steps, is to get them engineered, and then we'll get them back to FEMA. Then we should be able to finalize our paperwork with FEMA and get the funding locked up.
Cool. Any further up here? Any public comments?
I'm curious. Okay, so task order numbers are both, oh no, these are related to different projects.
Yep,
Okay.
2 separate projects.
Okay, so does that mean, okay, I'm a little confused because I thought task order number 1 was part of the scope of work related to the 2 Mile project. Am I misreading that?
Should be.
Task 1,
Yeah.
task
Well, there's,
order number,
so task order number 1 is the whole scope,
Is-
the whole project that
is
they're
the
gonna
2
do
Mile project.
under,
Okay.
yeah.
So-
And then there's tasks within that task order.
Okay, so that clarifies for me then what my question is actually going to be, and that is, obviously, we have 2 Mile Lane as task order 1, Seven Devils closure as task order number 2. What task order number is the, you know what I'm gonna ask?
Well, I was planning on giving you an update at the end, but.
Oh, good.
Task order 3 should be South Coos River.
Ah, that's
just- should be
wonderful
what?
news.
South
Thank you.
Coos River Road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I just provided my comments back to them, so I should be getting the final back, and we should have it on the next agenda.
Great, thank you for that. Okay.
All righty. Seeing no further, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. I believe that takes us to task 2, which we've discussed. Do we have a motion?
I move we approve and sign task order number 2, a contract amendment to AE service contract with AKS Engineering and Forestry for professional engineering services at milepost .35 of Seven Devils Road in an amount not to exceed $64,795.
Second?
Motion and a second. Discussion?
Can I provide one clarification on this one?
Sure.
So when you look through their, on page 2 of their document, there's task, sorry, it's not on page 2, it's on page 1. Task 2 is environmental permitting services, and in parentheses, you'll see it says contingency. I'm pretty sure we're not gonna need that task. I think that, this will be exempt. I've already talked to ODF&W, and I'm planning for them to actually do the fish salvage, which will make it to where we don't need a nationwide permit from the Corps of Engineers.
Neat.
You have an idea what that repair is going to cost?
The repair, not yet, but I would ballpark, it's probably in the 160 to 230 range, depending upon the exact structure that, gets designed in there and just timing when we get it out to bid.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a big project.
yeah. Is there anybody in the room that will be happy when that repair is done?
Just gonna, We're hoping to have that one constructed this year, before the end of the calendar year. Yep.
Very good.
Any further? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next one, request approval
Thank you.
task order
Thanks, Paul.
Oops, careful, Paul.
number, I've got 32 down here. Did we have another one?
No.
Okay. I was thinking because there's a
Megan's-
32, it must be a
Megan's
typo.
3I.
Okay. Request approval of resolution making additional appropriations in Bandon Dune Assessment Fund. Finance. Howdy, Meg.
Hello, Megan.
Hello. This resolution ensures that we have enough appropriations available to pass through funds through the end of the fiscal year in the Bandon Dunes Assessment Fund.
Mr. Chair, move to approve and sign Resolution 2605061B.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. We appreciate always Bandon Dunes partnership.
Indeed.
Any in the room? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next one, request approval and, okay. Sign resolution 26-05-060B.
This is the same thing except for the Charleston Transient Lodging Tax Fund.
I move we approve and sign Resolution 26-05-060B.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Room. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. And then we have, I need to open a hearing as the governing body of library service, don't I?
You have to recess the Board of Commissioners
Ah.
and then open the library.
We'll recess the
service
Board of Commissioners meeting and open the Library Service District meeting, us being the governing body. We have a request for approval of resolution making additional appropriations.
This resolution ensures that we have enough appropriations available to pass through funds through the end of the fiscal year in the Library Service District Fund.
I
Mr. Chair,
move- Whoops, go ahead.
move to approve and sign Resolution 2605062B.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. In the room? Anyone online? Okay. Library districts are pretty active. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Did I need to recess this, or can I
thank you.
close it this
Close
time?
it.
Alrighty. Now closing the Library Service District meeting and resuming the County Commissioner meeting, we have the consent calendar.
I move approval of the consent calendar.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. In the room? All, is that?
No, I just, when public comment.
Oh, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We did late agenda items as we went, so that'll be commissioner reports. I think it's Rod's turn first this time.
Cool. So, week before last, Drew went also on a tour of the Elliott Forest sponsored by Department of State Lands. And that was very interesting to see how the Elliott State Forest is being utilized. The majority of it is being used to house marbled murrelets and the soon destined for absolute demise spotted owl.
There's one left.
Yeah, and in case anybody doesn't know what's happened with the spotted owl, it has been completely supplanted by the barred owl through out competing for food and interbreeding. The spotted owl is gone. It no longer exists for all practical purposes and needs to be removed from the Endangered Species Act, and all measures taken to protect the spotted owl need to be rescinded and corrected in order to correct our economy here in the south part of Oregon. But anyway, it was very interesting to see the way that the research stations are being set up in the Elliott. I don't disagree with the strategic approach to understand the effects on the landscape of different harvest techniques for timber. What they've done is they've set up all these research stations that monitor things like precipitation, air humidity, ground moisture, groundwater, tree growth, wind speed, direction, all of these, every metric that you could take from a reporting station in the woods, that's what they do, and relay all that data back via cellular connection. And the goal is to establish a baseline of understanding for all of these metrics for a 5-year period prior to harvest, and then to gauge the relative impacts of selective harvest, of no harvest, of clear-cut harvest. And they will execute all 3 of those strategies within those reporting stations. So it'll be very interesting to see in 5-10 years what data comes out of that. The good news is that there's some of the resource being utilized for its appropriate use, and it's prescribed use years ago from the legislature, and then there's but it's also distressing to see how much of it is being absolutely wasted and underutilized for what at least I would consider a bogus purpose. The fact is that these animals, they do need places to nest. They find them because guess what? They nest. They don't say, oh, I'm not going to build a nest this year because there's not an old tree here where there used to be one. They go find another one, or one that's not quite as old. And anyway, so it was very interesting to see that. Appreciated Department of State Lands hosting that, and also wanted to also speak to the volunteers at the fair, as I frequently do. It's amazing to see how much time these people donate. I mean, day after day after day, after week, after month. These guys are down there working on that fairgrounds and making the Coos County Fair better than it's ever been. And so we will be pouring that cattle wash station on Wednesday and Friday. And looking forward to that. Great improvements in the amphitheater area as well. So it's going to be a great fair this year. Let's see. There was something else I wanted to mention, but I don't recall what it was. So I guess that's all I have.
All right.
I'd like to add a little bit to Rod's discussion about the fair. I probably repeated myself, but the fair is almost entirely a volunteer operation. We have one county employee who works at the fair, and that's the business agent. And is she fully paid by the fair proceeds, Megan? Mm-hmm. So there's no cost to the county for her. The rest of it is volunteer. And I won't tell you the people's names, because not only do they do the work, they go out and find money for the work. And I don't want to give you a heads up and when to run or from whom to run, for fear that you'll avoid making a donation by knowing and getting it out of their way. And then, Rod, who is doing the research at the Elliott Forest? Originally, it was to be Oregon State University Forestry, but are they still involved?
They are.
They are involved.
They're setting up partnerships with other universities as well, and trying to bring SWAC on board. I think they've already got something set up with SWAC.
Good.
But I believe it was the amount of harvest that OSU said they need in order to keep the project sustainable. The state disagreed and wanted to cut less. So
Sure.
that's how OSU ended up not being the one running it.
So, but they are running the research
They are
in
going to be
conjunction with other
Yeah,
universities.
they're going to be conducting research up there.
I see. All right. I think the only thing I'd like to talk about, and I'll probably keep talking about it, is the county's budget. I think that everyone knows, but I'll repeat it, that we were able to balance this year's budget only through taking some money that we had left over from the American Rescue Plan, COVID funding, and some property sales, $2 million to balance the budget. We will not have that $2 million next year. So either we've got to find $2 million or we've got to reduce expenses by $2 million. And it's a chore. We'll remind you that I'm not saying this is how we'll do it, but our county, the amount of property taxes we charge our citizens is less than one third of what the average county in the state charges its citizens. There's no really good metrics for what is an appropriate county tax rate, but ours is, as you can see, quite low in comparison to the other 35 counties. That will be a challenge for us to fill that void. And as usual with things, a bit of inflation, the cost of running our departments continues to go up. So we're fortunate, I think, that we're able to, there's been a change at the federal level so that we get, instead of getting 50% of the harvest proceeds off of the ONC lands, the counties that have those lands now get 75%. To us, that will mean probably about $1 million. That'll offset some of the deficit. But we still have a big hole to fill going forward. And I think the citizens should know that, and the department heads should know that. It's, again, a big challenge. On that merry note, I'll end my comments.
I was going to say, on that merry note, we're happy to see you today, Rick.
Welcome to the party. As I sent you after I saw the numbers, you can't run away now. For mine, as Commissioner Taylor mentioned, we were both up at the Elliott State Research Forest. We rode in different vehicles, so we wouldn't violate public meeting law. Don't worry about that. I also had a meeting with the director of DSL on Monday that week. We went out to the forest Friday, talking with them, continuing to talk with them about the role that Shutters Creek played in maintaining services in Lakeside. How do they continue to do that now that it is the Elliott State Research Forest, because the state did not collaborate on a wastewater plant, and that put Lakeside in a position of risk. So they are continuing to fund that. That's been dedicated for a few years now, moving forward, at least. So that is a good sign. Yeah, I was happy to hear that. Continuing to talk to them as well about how they can be an asset in the area. I think some of the feedback that they received on Friday from commissioners from other counties was, it's interesting research, but it's not what our communities needed. Coos County in particular has, I believe, the third highest dropout rate from schools in the state out of 36 counties. Not specific to one district, but overall. We need ways to keep kids interested in schools. So talking with these folks, there is requirements of the money after they do their timber sales, after they do their carbon credit sales, that they use any of the surplus and put it towards the local good of the schools. So we'll continue pushing on them for that. Let's see. And talking to them, of course, about they've been very happy with the sheriff's patrol out in their woods. They're funding 1/2 a position to patrol the Elliott Forest. They've been very impressed. They're now talking about funding another 1/2 or maybe more than that for additional coverage in other areas of the forest on the South Slough. So they're looking at how they can get some more money and investment into the local. One of the frustrations I have is that they're advertising they made their first timber sale. However, it was a sale to a company operating out of Roseburg, owned by a company in California. That does not help Coos County. So that's something I've continued to reiterate to them as well. Continuing to coordinate with the Coast Guard National Guard on some service member housing in the area. Southern Oregon Coast Regional Housing, or SOCR, has a lot of the wheel on that, but helping kind of lubricate that coordination between those two entities, and the city of Coos Bay has asked for some help here and there to keep that moving with some properties the Coast Guard's looking at within that city. Meetings about government funding, obviously, that's going to be an ongoing concern. I've spoke with a past legislator last week. I'm going to be continuing to talk to legislators about what we can look at, what options we might have as far as more systemic change at the state level on how revenues work for counties. One of the most interesting proposals I heard recently that is not something I had heard in the past was that the state, so as John mentioned, Coos County, we receive $1.08 per thousand out of your property taxes. You are capped at $10 per thousand, not counting the school money. If the total of all of your overlapping taxing districts exceeds $10, you get tax compression until it is $10 per thousand. The average county in Oregon gets over $3.50 per thousand. So while you're still getting the $10 out of 1,000 taxed on you, the amount going to the county is substantially lower than the operating norm throughout the state. What was brought up to me was the idea that the legislature passed something saying a county's minimum share will be something like $2. So you'll still have tax compression. You still won't pay more than $10 per thousand. But a higher share of the revenues will go to at least our county. Most counties would be unaffected, but it would help the funding for our county's budget without increasing anyone's taxes, just modifying the allocation of the taxes you already pay. And as the last cheery thing I had, I got to hang out with the National Guard when they swung by Marshfield High School last week. Yep, last week. And it was interesting to see the kids that are at the school now. They were really motivated and engaged with the recruiters there. There was a competition for, you get a shirt if you can do a plank exercise for 1 minute. You get a Carhartt if you can do it for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And seeing how many kids stopped by just to try it, and the other kids passing by trying to motivate them.
I can do a 5.
You can do a 5?
5 minutes.
Show off. You don't get my Carhartt. But yeah, it was good to see from the kids, the motivation there. It gives me hope that they might be better than some of us were. Yeah, I'll cut mine off there. That'll take us to public comments. And the only one written down is Jim, but folks do still have the option to comment after we get through the list.
Good morning, Jim Bennett, Bandon.
Sorry, 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Tight on time, huh? So the first thing, good morning. The first thing I wanted to, stuck in my craw, is that none of our public officials, namely the county clerk, felt compelled to notify the public of these ballot shenanigans. I mean, if I was the clerk, or no offense, one of you guys, I would have done a big post in what's happening in Coos County, and I would have told the people about this highly unusual manipulation to our ballots. I mean, and I went in person and got it changed back to Republican, and I checked again, and it was still nonpartisan. It's I don't think that the election corruption is going to fly this particular cycle. Mark my words. So the other thing is my neighborhood over by Whiskey Run. I mean, the scalping, and I don't have a lot of depth of knowledge in this space, but it's common sense would dictate that with all of the open space we have, I don't understand why all the logging's going on where it's visual to the residents and the tourists and everything. The other thing is glyphosate, I believe, is going to be used up in where that clear cutting took place in large quantities, and it's going to run down and affect my well and my water table. The other thing is, there's a reason why a lot of people have a disdain for the way government operates. This Whiskey Run Bike Camp thing, I've already entered into the record that, having this highly impactful projects imposed on the community based on the consensus process from the National Policy Consensus Center out of Portland State University, I've already entered into the record and redundancy that it's completely unconstitutional. And I've seen this movie before. Oh, don't worry, guys. We're just in the early stages. We're just deliberating. We'll be taking public input. We haven't made a decision yet. So in the meantime, during that lull, you bought the property and you're going ahead anyway. I mean, you could see where, and not even a basic effort of outreach as was promised, John. Not I don't see any modicum of effort to contact the people, the community that's impacted by this. And I'll say the same thing I've said before. You don't need to be a civil engineer to go down Whiskey Run and know that it's not an appropriate place to add all this bike congestion and everything. And the thing that I fear is that after there's accidents, and there will be, I fear that in a couple of years or so, I'm going to have a stop sign at my intersection. And
We are past 3 minutes.
If that was there, I wouldn't have bought the place.
Okay.
And if I saw all the clear cutting, I might not have. And if I saw it all congested with bikes, most of which the people aren't even from here,
Yeah.
it's not right, guys.
Okay. And I do remember we had a meeting about this, and the member who does live near it did show up. So there must have been some
The
notification.
meeting was publicized.
Yeah.
And I believe that planning made a call to Mr. Bennett to notify him of it.
No,
Okay.
the burden of notification is on you, not on.
We did have attendees, so it was
Well,
successful.
I would think since you know that I'm all over it, I would think you would have contacted me. I never saw that.
Okay.
I
Do
know
we
a lot of
have,
locals that I told you I polled about 35 people.
Okay.
I couldn't find one that was for it, not one.
one made it, so you missed one. Do we have any others? Okay. Sir?
Just a quick question about the Elliott.
Yeah.
Now, we know historically that when there's a forest in the temperate zone, that where the growth rate eclipses the harvest rate, it will inevitably burn. And of course, our concern here is the Elliott. What is the relationship between the growth rate and the harvest rate?
Yeah.
Does anybody know? Because that seems like really, really important. Because if we just let it grow, it's going to burn, which is
I don't know if we have that metric exactly, but what I would say is that proportionately the Elliott is being harvested at a much lower rate than are the ONC lands.
yeah, that's my concern.
And we know that the ONC lands grow 1.2 billion board feet a year, and yet are being harvested at less than 300 million board feet per year. So we're seeing at least a 900 million board foot annual accumulation of additional fire fuel there.
Right, and
The Elliott is, how many acres?
83,000, I believe.
83,000. So,
When Commissioner Chris Boyce out of Douglas brought this up, and we did go down a road for a minute, but I don't remember which state office that representative was from, but somebody didn't like that conversation much.
who controls that ratio?
State, I believe.
The state?
well, I think it's an outgrowth of an amalgamation of policies. I think the one most impacting the Elliott is frankly bird circles.
Yeah.
So that would be an ESA, right? An
Yeah.
Endangered Species Act.
Oh, yeah.
Issue.
Well, now, you guys know I'm not a prophet, but I'm just saying generationally it will inevitably burn
Yeah.
unless we harvest it at a rate that's approximately commensurate to the growth rate.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that will be really bad for that last owl that was spotted.
There's only one left, according to the owl expert.
I know it was recently
So, I mean,
spotted. I had to say that.
Yeah, no, it's
was
gonna
a
be
great
gone
joke.
on its own.
Yeesh. All right, that's it. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, I did ask about barred owls and what they eat, because that was a joke about eating spotted owls. The individual told me that they don't actually eat the spotted owl. They do kill them, but they did find a red-tailed hawk's beak in the stomach of a barred owl.
Whoa!
Yeah, that was
Holy
impressive.
moly!
I know, right?
Wow.
New fear unlocked. Do we have any others? And none online? Alrighty, with that, meeting adjourned.
Right.